So how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the wacky world of amazing Yamaguchi action figures. Previously I've reviewed the Batman figure, and I've since changed the weird looking head sculpt and the unbelievably annoying cape, and I really did kind of want Deathstroke, but I missed the boat on that one. But I did manage to pick up the Joker and also Wonder Woman. But today is all about the Joker. Now, one thing is consistent with these figures, and that's that the box art is really busy, but also really cool and eye-catching. There is just so much going on as far as action figure photography and comic book imagery and color stylized images of the logo. I mean, look at the back of the box. There's just so much going on here. Not only are there multiple images of the Joker, but we've also got Batman and we've got Harley Quinn mashed into the equation. And even inside of the box, when you've pulled the figure out, there's actually a little piece of artwork. Now, all out of the box, this Joker comes with a ton of stuff. 2 submachine guns, 2 revolvers, another revolver that has bang coming out the end, a set of clattery teeth, a Joker cane, a slew of extra hands, some little gun bang effects that can go in the end of either the revolvers or the machine guns. He also comes with an interchangeable head that looks crazier than the initial one. And also a little picky thing here, which I'll show what that's for later. And then another little bit here that looks like a windy thing, but that's actually for holding all of the ha-ha-ha-has that are supposed to stick to his back with this little green peg. See? Just like that. So for the price point of being around $100 American, which is what you pay for this brand new, I feel like in this market, it's kind of to be expected considering it comes with so much stuff. And just look at this Joker figure up close. Let's just take a second to look at it and, just think, wow, that is like the perfect color scheme for a classic looking Joker. Some folks would argue that it's the yellow vest and the green shirt that looks the best. And I also happen to like that very much too. But this works very, very well together. And overall, the proportions are to be expected for amazing Yamaguchi. So, first, before I get into the articulation, I want to show you the actual sculpting and color scheme. This is a fantastically finely sculpted figure. The pinstripes are sculpted, the vest has all of the right stitch lines and wrinkles where it should be. You've got the flower, you've got his little tie there. You've got all the appropriate wrinkles in the suit. You've got all the lines in the tails and the seam lines in the back. This is a fantastically sculpted figure. There's not very many companies out there that do as fantastic of a job with the actual sculpting of their figures. Oh, I suppose I should also take a few seconds to talk about the different head sculpts that come with this Joker figure. There's your basic teeth closed, grinning, looking very sinister face sculpt. Painted and sculpted satisfactorily as far as I'm concerned. And then there's that second, even more crazy, more menacing head sculpt with the mouth open, cackling in laughter with one eye partially closed. He's having such a good time laughing. Now, on to the weirdness of an amazing Yamaguchi figure, and that would be the articulation. These figures are really overly articulated in some ways, and they definitely have their own unique approach to it. Let's start with this piece of articulation, the jacket articulation that, I think is supposed to act the same way as a butterfly. So there's movement. Oh, what just fell off? His tail. Oh, well, speaking of articulation, the tail attaches right here on a little peg, and it is articulated. See? You can even see in the arm here, there is a rounded hinge and then a ball joint in the arm, and then they've decided to cover that up with a shoulder bonnet, like a pauldron. It's supposed to just be his jacket, right? Like a shoulder pad. But it never completely covers up the articulation point. You can always see the balls on these figures. And then let's look at the elbow. It's a rounded hinge, which you can clearly, plainly see here. But it's so noticeable. It's like, these figures are really cool looking, they're beautiful, and they're also really just weird looking. You've got articulation in the torso, right here, and then you've got articulation in the waist, but on top of that, you've got this just little piece that it's like a floating piece. It really is just like a floating piece that fits over top. And then you've got articulation in the way of the neck and the head, and so you can see there's a lot there's a lot of movement there. You can look right forward and look right back and tilt his head to the side and be like, "I'm crazy." Then in the groin, you've got, you know, the to be expected ball joints, which is, I feel like that's normal for most adult collectibles. But then you've also got, you know, this like thigh cut right here that has like, it's just strange. Am I the only one that thinks that that's kind of strange? And then these knees, which are single jointed, you'd think, well, they don't get that much articulation. And who puts stupid single jointed? Oh, never mind. They go right up. And that's because if you look at the back, they've got this great big slice in the back of the leg. They've just like whoosh, cut a chunk of the, you know, the back of his leg out so his leg can go up like that and articulate, but it goes always up and in on an angle. And then of course the feet have the rounded ball hinge, and it's gonna have a pivot, and you've got toe articulation. But these are just very strange action figures as far as the torso articulation, like in this area, and then as far as the knees. Like just looking at Batman here, and you'll have to forgive me because as I mentioned, I took off his ugly cape that he came with and swapped the heads. It's the same thing. You got these great big round joints in the elbow that you can totally see, and you got these knees that, I mean, whoosh, they go right back like that, and they're single jointed, and they've got, again, you know, a fairly sizable slice out of the meat of Batman's leg. And this is always the piece right here that I think is the strangest piece of articulation. Their butterfly goes over his entire bat symbol. See that? And you can see all the round balls on his shoulders too. That's why I keep the cape over the shoulders. Heck, even the eyeballs of the Joker are articulated. Seriously. That is what this little doohickey is for. This little guy right here is for actually adjusting the eyeballs. This thing fits right in there, and you can move his little tiny eyeballs around. And let me tell you, this guy, this face came cross-eyed, and I had a bugger of a time getting the eyes back in the right position. Like, it was really challenging, because I hadn't really opened it yet, and I didn't know that this tool was even in there. So what do I think about this Joker figure now that we have looked at him 6 ways from Sunday? Do I think that he's a worthwhile purchase? Well, you know, if you can find him for close to or at the actual original suggested retail price, then I say, yeah, go for it, as long as you know what you're getting into. A lot of articulation, a lot of points, a lot of things to keep track of when you're posing him. I can't tell you how many times I was posing him around for the end of the video and I was like, whoops, his shoulder pad is sticking up. Darn, gotta take the photo again. Or oopsie daisy, the bottom of his shirt is kind of twisted and not in line with his buttons. Eventually, I just kind of said screw it and just took the pictures anyway. But he is a very cool figure, and I imagine that what most of you are going to do is you're going to buy him, you're going to put him in a cool pose with your favorite accessories on a shelf, and there you shall leave him, only to take him down and dust him and occasionally give him a slightly different pose position. So yeah, I can get behind you trying to track this guy down still, even though he is, I don't know what, half a year or a year old by this point. He's worth the money as far as I'm concerned. As long as you're not paying 2-3 times the price on the secondary market. But yeah, those are my thoughts, ideas, and opinions. I know that you'll have your own. Feel free to leave them down in the comments section below, and I will see you with the next one. Have a super awesome DC day, everybody, and take care.